Well, girls, I have found Nicola Bulley. I am just trying to find some information right now. Let's see. I am wondering what could have happened to this gal. They have looked really hard. So I'm going to just see what I can find for us here. Heartbreaking. What have we got going on here? I'm looking, guys. I just have to make damn sure that it's a place that I'm safe getting this to you guys. I'm trying to find something live. I'm not having much luck. Okay, let's take a look at this. We'll start here.
Nicola's friends are not giving up, and neither is her partner Paul. After 2 weeks of searching, he told Channel 5 that the police theory that she fell into the river is wrong.
Personally, and again, it's just my opinion, I'm 100% convinced it's not the river. People don't just find thin air. It's absolutely impossible. So something has happened. Something has happened. Find out what it is. Find out what it is. My plea now is, personally, I want every house, every garage, every outbuilding, the land scrutinised. I want it all searched. I want it all scrutinised. Every piece of it.
Every search has drawn a blank. Police have been scouring the wider parts of the River Wyre, where the water level rises and falls more quickly. But it is the same story. They found nothing in there to lead them to Nicola.
It is perhaps from here that you get a better idea of the scale of the waters these teams are now searching. We are 4 miles from the sea, and within just half an hour, the waters have risen by a couple of meters.
Upstream, friends are determined to keep the flow of information going, again lining the busy main road of St Michael's on Wyre, near to the riverside bench where Nicola was last seen.
We still have no evidence. We still don't have that vital bit of information that can give a line of inquiry. And that's why today is so important, to drive that awareness once again, that someone must have seen something. And the fact we've got a key piece of road that we have no information for, that's almost what we're clinging on to today, that's going to shed some light on the situation.
As the days and now weeks pass, it does get harder to remain upbeat, but Nicola's friends and family are resolute. Lisa Dowd, Sky News, Lancashire.
Wow, eh? Okay, I think this is the press conference.
Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Good. Okay. Very good morning, and thank you for your flexibility with a slight change in timing for this this press conference. My name is Peter Lawson, and I'm an Assistant Chief Constable here with Lancashire Constabulary. I'm joined to my left by Detective Superintendent Becky Smith. Becky is the Senior Investigating Officer, SIO, in the investigation to find Nicola Bulley. I want to thank you for making the effort to come here this morning so that we could give you an update on our investigation to find Nicola. She and her family remain foremost in our thoughts and our priorities in the investigation. Some of what Becky and I will say today has already been made public and has been widely reported, but I'm acutely aware that there continues to be extensive media interest, commentary, speculation, and indeed some criticism of our police investigation. Therefore, to try and address some of that, take you through in some detail, more than would normally be the case with an investigation, what exactly we've done over the last 19 days and continue to do.
Okay.
To remind us, Nicola went missing on the morning of Friday, the 27th of January. And since that time, we have done...
That is not what I was looking for. But we'll try something else. It doesn't look like they've given much of an update yet.
Sad news, I'm afraid. The police in the last few minutes have put on their Facebook page that a body has been recovered from the River Wye. Now, it's important to say the body has not been identified, but Nicola Bulley's family have been informed that a body has been found. Now, the police say that they received a call at 11:36 this morning from people saying that they had seen a body in the river. They sent specialist search teams. The area was cordoned off very quickly, drones, helicopters, etc., divers. They found a body, they've recovered the body. Identification is yet to take place, but obviously the family have been hoping that she had left the area, that she was safe. So this is a very significant development.
Very significant. Can we expect, of course, we've just learnt this news, but can we expect some kind of statement, some press conference of sorts?
I would imagine so. I guess it depends on how long it takes for formal identification to take place.
Goodness me. Well, we've got a statement from the police. I think you have it to hand.
I've only got a couple of notes that I wrote, and basically what I have told you.
It's up on the screen for those viewing at home. I will read it out. This morning, Sunday, 19th February, you may be aware of police activity around the river near to St Michael's. We want to provide you with an update on that activity. We were called today at 11:35 a.m. to reports of a body in the River Wye, close to Rawcliffe Road. An underwater...
Are we having some problems here? I'll refresh.
Sad news, I'm afraid. The police... So this is a very significant development.
Very significant. Can we expect, of course, we've just learnt this news, but can we expect some kind of statement, some press conference of sorts?
I would imagine so. I guess it depends on how long it takes for formal identification to take place.
Goodness me. Well, we've got a statement from the police. I think you have it to hand.
I've only got a couple of notes that I wrote, and basically what I have told you.
It's up on the screen for those viewing at home. I will read it out. This morning, Sunday, 19th February, you may be aware of police activity around the river near to St Michael's. We want to provide you with an update on that activity. We were called today at 11:35 a.m. to reports of a body in the River Wire, close to Rawcliffe Road. An underwater search team and specialist officers have subsequently attended the scene, entered the water, and have sadly recovered a body. No formal identification has yet been carried out, so we are unable to say whether this is Nicola Bulley at this time. Procedures to identify the body are ongoing. We are currently treating the death as unexplained. Nicola's family have been informed of developments, and our thoughts were with them at the most difficult of times. We ask that their privacy is respected. Well, there you go. There's the statement from Lancashire Police. We will, of course, bring you the very latest as we hear it on that tragic case, the mysterious case. We await to hear confirmation of who that body belongs to.
Let's see if I've got this here without going too much further.
Currently treating the death as unexplained and say her family has been informed of the latest developments. A cabinet minister says Boris Johnson's intervention on the North.
James and the giant peach, fantastic. But everybody.
Oh my. Okay, we'll jump over here. Gonna have to do a little bit of jumping, guys, until okay, see one up here.
Sad news, I'm afraid. The police in the last few minutes have put on their...
Let's go here for a second.
How did you feel when the police released that statement on Wednesday?
I just didn't see the purpose. Like, if it furthered the investigation, if there was a reason for it, but it's just victim shaming.
Trying to find one that's good.
Bring you breaking news, as you heard in the bulletin there. Now, police in Lancashire who have been investigating the disappearance of Nicola Bulley say they have found a body in the River Wire. We'll get the very latest now from Holly Bone, Liverpool reporter with the Daily Mirror. Holly, welcome. Thank you. What is the latest?
Well, I mean, you just said it really. The police are now saying that they found a body. It's the 23rd day that they've been searching for Nicola. Obviously at this stage they'll have to go through an official procedure. They have to make a formal identification process. We don't know at this stage if it is Nicola, but it's tragic news nonetheless that a body has been found in the River Wire.
We saw earlier today roads had been blocked and a particular section of the river was being searched. What more can you tell us about the goings on the ground since this morning?
Yeah, so that's right. I mean, it's Rawcliffe Road. So for those people listening that don't know the area, the section that they've been focusing on was a section near a bench where Nicola's phone had been found. Now, this area that they've cordoned off it's probably a 5-minute walk, if that. You come past the Grapes pub, which is on the main road, and you swing a left, and it's Rawcliffe Road there. And this road follows the river. It's the banks of its river in certain sections. If you go right to the end of it, it really actually follows and bends with the river. So they've cordoned off that entire road. And what we do know is that 2 walkers were seen speaking with police and allegedly were pointing to a spot near the river. And then 2 police cars came flying past. The cordon was set up a short while later, and police said that they'd received a call at about 11:50 a.m. Now, obviously, since that time, they've made this official announcement that they have indeed found a body. And it remains to be seen now whether, obviously, it is tragically Nicola.
And Holly, was this a part of the river or an area that had been searched before?
Well, you mean, yeah, we believe so. I mean, we've seen over the last 3 weeks, we've seen police in dinghies, divers, pole cameras. They've been up and down this stretch. You know, they've searched it from Knot End on Sea, where the estuary meets Morecambe Bay, right up, you know, even 3 miles upstream from where Nicola's phone was found. So there's been extensive and intensive searches of the river. I mean, obviously this is a short distance away. I haven't measured it exactly in miles as the crow flies, but I'd estimate about half a mile away. So you would have thought that this section had been properly searched. How?
Okay, I do have another one that I would like to look at. Let's see if I can get. Let's go back, guys. I hope you're all doing well today. Sorry for the sad way to start your day, but you know what? I'm happy that the family might get some answers here. So she was found in the River Wire, which totally shocked me, and I'm sure it shocked a whole pile of people. Okay, let's see what we've got going. I didn't think she was going to get found in that river. I really didn't. Wow. Okay, let's see what they've got next here. If it's something that
Business got the ultimate no-brainer decision for you. And trust me, I know no-brainers. I dated a few in college. The EcoTank Pro is the future of business printing. It comes with...
Okay. We'll pop back in here again, just see if we can get rid of that. So a body has been found in search for Nicola Bulley, the mother of 2 who has been missing for 23 days. The body has not yet been formally identified. Ms. Bulley vanished while walking her dog, Willow, on the footpath overlooking the River Wire in Lancashire on January 27th. Her phone was found on the bench by the river, where the family's dog Willow was basically running loose, and Willow's harness was off, just kind of laying, it sounded like, kind of by the bank. Her disappearance did spark a major search in the river and surrounding areas. The discovery of her remains after police hurriedly sealed off the road and launched a diving operation on Sunday afternoon in the River Wire, following a tip from 2 dog walkers. So this gives us a little bit, let's see, can I? Okay, so this is where she was found, quite a ways up, because she was right in here. Okay, pictures. See, it just doesn't look torturous, does it? I was very, very surprised when I seen what was the width and some of the depth of this river. Amid the flurry of news, police search activity on Sunday morning, a witness said, "I drove down Rawcliffe Road for almost a mile. I noticed a man and a woman and 2 police officers on the embankment. I pulled off about 11:50 a.m. and I heard the man talking to police about something in the undergrowth. Police cars were flying down the road with blues and 2s going. A police officer pulled up a few minutes later and got his drone out. 5 minutes later, the police helicopter arrived, and then police asked her to move or get out of the way, so I moved 200 yards down the road. I could still clearly see the man pointing at the riverbank. The more police cars continued to race down with their sirens and lights going. They cleared the entire road. So right in here, so it does not look torturous or scary, does it? But I guess it does have quite strong undercurrents. They have been searching for pretty much 3 weeks. There's the helicopter that's searching for her, the dive team. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can. Now this is from the Lancaster, how do they say it differently than we do? Constabulary? Is that how you would say that? So this is straight from their site. Our sole focus throughout the investigation has been to find Nicola, to bring her home, and to support her family through the trauma they are experiencing. And most important person of all is Nicola. So week 3. As we approach the 3-week anniversary of her going missing, Friday, 27th of January, we remain committed to doing everything we can to find her. Oh my word. Okay. Let's take another look here. Okay, who's this?
There is now a huge police search going on close to, within a mile, it's reported, of where Nicola Bulley disappeared back in January the 27th, three and a half weeks ago. There's been no breakthroughs as such. Could this be the breakthrough that the family have been waiting for? It's reported that 2 walkers spotted something and raised an alert. Divers have been sent to the scene. All the roads have been cordoned off. And obviously we will wait to see what develops, but obviously a very worrying time for the family.
Yes, of course. And this is an area that they hadn't yet explored, hadn't yet searched. Do we know that?
It's unclear.
It's unclear.
I understand it's being reported that it's less than a mile from where she was last seen.
Wow.
Now, of course, the river, the surroundings were extensively searched, weren't they, over 3.5 weeks? And there was, I mean, there's been huge amounts of speculation, not all of it helpful, but there was speculation that perhaps she'd fallen in the river, that potentially she might have gone out to sea. Of course, the family were clinging desperately to thinking, hopefully she wasn't in the river, hopefully she'd gone somewhere, hopefully she would be okay. Now, it's important to say, we don't know what they will find, if anything, but certainly walkers have seen something and the police taking this very seriously.
Wow, hey guys. Okay, I want to see if this is information, like a better information.
Use to anybody. But other than that, do you think their handling has, in a sense, been fair, and that it was really a difficult thing for them to deal with?
Of course, it was a difficult case. I think the initial response was excellent. You know, she was identified as high risk very, very quickly. As far as being dealt with as a missing person, within an hour or so, they had drones up, they had heat-seeking helicopters and this sort of thing. But that was good. But then this second response, the sort of investigative response, wasn't as good. For example, they didn't know if she had been taken, so there was the issue of the bench not being kept for forensication, and the digital evidence. She had keys in her pocket, Mercedes car keys, I believe, or possibly a Fitbit. All those could have possibly been contacted by some digital means if they'd been done quick enough before the battery's power ran out. We don't know if that's the case, but that needs to be looked in. The police often deal with digital evidence in a Stone Age way. It's they're hopeless. With traditional evidence, they're very good, but with digital evidence, not so good. So, but these are questions that need to be answered once all this has been done. And as I say, my prayers are with the family at the moment.
Yeah, but in their defence, some of those social media companies and so on so don't like to give out information. They can even make it difficult for the police. But of course, all of these things definitely need to be looked at. Now, for the family themselves, what kind of support will they get and will they be receiving right now? We don't know it's Nicola, of course, but this would be harrowing anyway.
Absolutely. And the police have improved over many decades with family liaison officers, and there's some particularly well-trained and excellent officers who can offer that advice. And they do have a difficult role because, of course, when you deal with these missing persons, we're all seeing the people with crocodile tears who say, oh, no, somebody's gone missing, and then we find out they're responsible. Luckily, in this case, that doesn't seem to be the case, but the family liaison officers tread a fine line between getting information about the internal workings of the family and showing a caring nature, helping to arrange things and explaining the legality and the procedures that will go on. So I'm sure those officers are doing a fantastic job, but a very difficult job as well.
And how soon do you think we are likely to find out whether the body is in fact Nicola Bulley's or not?
Well, I think the police will be very quick to get this out there because then it'll. There's been too much speculation in this case. Of course, we've had all sorts of ghouls going down there and causing even more hurt for the family. So the sooner the police can get the post-mortem and the identification done, I'm sure they'll be keen to get that information out there. But one thing I would say, I don't think that some former officers I've seen have been blaming the press, and I have to defend the press here. I don't think the media simply reports the stories, and they report what they're given, and they've not been given the right information. Journalists and reporters I know wouldn't have disclosed certain things if they've been asked to do so. There's a lack of trust at the moment between the police and the journalist profession, and that is not good because it cuts off a vital supply of leads.
Well, listen, thank you so much for your thoughts. That's former Detective Chief Inspector of Scotland Yard, Mike Neville. Mike, thank you so much. Well, let's just recap with what the police have said. This is the statement they posted on social media this afternoon. This morning, Sunday, the 19th of February, you may be aware of police activity around the river near to St Michael's. We want to provide you with an update on that activity. We were called today at 11:36 a.m. to reports of a body in the River Wye, close to Rawcliffe Road. An underwater search team and specialist officers have subsequently attended the scene, entered the water and have sadly recovered a body. No formal identification has been carried out, so we are unable to say whether this is Nicola Bulley at this time. Procedures to identify the body are ongoing. We are currently treating the death as unexplained. Nicola's family...
This is so sad. So you're right, James. This has not ruled out any kind of foul play at this point. They did. She was about a mile and a half downriver, James. And yet in the water, they actually sent a drone out. And then a diver went in. It sounds like maybe she was tangled up in some reeds. Oh, my word. So sad.
Brexit deadlock on the island of Ireland. Some of your thoughts, email gbnews@gbnews.uk. Tell me what you think on everything we discuss. You can also tweet me at gbnews. I've got a poll up right now asking, should Boris butt out of Brexit? Cast your vote now. We'll be back after the weather.
The Lib Dems will support it. They've already made that pretty clear. But
headache for the guy at number 10, the guy.
We'll be talking to you also a bit later in the programme.
Try and find something that's kind of updated.
We're absolutely everywhere.
Come join.
Sunak is up against it at so many levels. And I think he could do without the intervention.
Yes. Okay, so this kind of gives an idea. She was here. Right in here is that bench. And they found her right over here. And they're saying that's about 1.5 miles. So not too far. Look at how they've parked there. So she was found under there. I'm trying to find some good footage. I would think that this would be fairly easy to find something live to get this information, but I'm not having that much luck, guys. Okay, let's see here. Still looking, guys. Even if I can find something with some good information for you. Look at this really quick. Let's look at Sky News again.
I've got some very important breaking news to bring you. This literally just in from Lancashire Police, who have told us that a body has been found in the River Wye. Let me read you the statement in its entirety. This morning, Sunday, the 19th of February, you may be aware of police activity around the river near to St Michael's on Wye. We want to provide you with an update on that activity. Intimam Rashid was telling us, obviously, about that search a short time ago. Police say we were called at 11:36 this morning to reports of a body in the River Wye, close to Rawcliffe Road. An underwater search team and specialist officers have subsequently attended the scene, entered the water, and have sadly recovered a body. Now, police go on to say that no formal identification has been carried out yet, so They are unable to say whether this is Nicola Bulley at this time. Procedures to identify the body are ongoing. We are currently treating the death as unexplained. Nicola's family have been informed of developments. Our thoughts are with them at this most difficult of times. We ask that their privacy is respected. Let us bring in straight away our correspondent, Inzamam Rashid, who is in St Michael's on Wire, where, of course, that police activity has been focused for the past 2.5 hours. And you broke the news that a search was underway. So what appears to be an extremely sad development now, Inzi.
A sad and a very significant development. Let's just reiterate what Lancashire Police have released to us in the last few moments. This morning, Sunday 19th February, you may be aware of police activity, what we've been reporting on over the last hour or so around the river near to St Michael's. We want to provide you with an update on that activity. They were called, police say, at 11:36 to reports of a body in the River Wire close to Rawcliffe Road. An underwater search team and specialist officers have subsequently attended the scene, entered the water, and have sadly recovered a body. No formal identification has yet been carried out, so we are unable to say whether this is Nicola Bulley at this time. Procedures to identify the body are ongoing. We are currently treating the death as unexplained. Nicola's family have been informed of developments, and our thoughts are with them at this most difficult of times. We ask that their privacy is respected. What do we know so far? Well, since around 1:10, a police helicopter was circling the sky, flying quite low to the River Wire, about a mile down from where Nicola Bulley was last seen around over 3 weeks ago at a bench in the village of St Michael's on Wire, where her phone, still unlocked, was found, her dog Willow, and the dog's harness as well. So 1:10, the helicopter flying for around 20 to 25 minutes, quite low towards the River Wire. That was then replaced by a police drone, and there was subsequently a number of police officers that arrived at the scene, divers into the water. Police had cordoned off roads, stopping any members of the public, ourselves as well, getting close to what was happening there. And then more police officers arrived later on, including a detective superintendent and the senior investigating officer on the search for Nicola Bulley, Rebecca Smith. Then in the last 20 minutes or so, we've seen a forensic tent has been erected by police officers along with crime scene investigating officers as well. And the information that's been released from Lancashire Police in the last few minutes is that they were called at 11:36 to reports of a body in the River Wire. The underwater search team and specialist officers attended the scene. They entered the water, and sadly, they have now recovered a body. They say that there is no formal identification as of yet, and they are unable to say whether that body is that of the missing mum of two, 45-year-old Nicola Bulley, but they are carrying out procedures to identify that body. They say that they are currently treating the death as unexplained, and Nicola's family have been informed.
I've got some very important breaking news to bring you.
Okay, where were we?
As well. So 1:10, the helicopter flying for around 20 to 25 minutes.
It's acting up.
Ourselves as well, getting close to what was happening there. And then more police officers arrived later on, including a detective superintendent and the senior investigating officer on the search for Nicola Bulley, Rebecca Smith. Then in the last 20 minutes or so, we've seen a forensic tent has been erected by police officers along with crime scene investigating officers as well. And the information that's been released from Lancashire Police in the last few minutes is that they were called at 11:36 to reports of a body in the River Wyre. The underwater search team and specialist officers attended the scene. They entered the water, and sadly, they have now recovered a body. They say that there is no formal identification as of yet, and they are unable to say whether that body is that of the missing mum of two, 45-year-old Nicola Bulley, but they are carrying out procedures to identify that body. They say that they are currently treating the death as unexplained, and Nicola's family have been informed.
Okay. I'm just going to take a peek here. So now we need a cause, don't we, guys? Now we need a cause. I don't know about you guys, but I still think it. Let's take a peek at this. This is horrible. What kind of information is that to give out? Okay. Let's take a look at this while I'm searching. Okay, I'm going to find something else. That's not the one I was after, is it, guys? We just seen that one. All righty. I honestly thought there would be more out there. So, Nicola Bulley, police recovered remains from the river near where the mother of two went missing.
For immersive and learning experience.
Alrighty, people, this is not what we were after, is it? Skip it. Wow. Wow. Oh, guys, what do you think? UK stations aren't the best. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, the ones that I ordinarily see, I'm not finding on here. So this one is a tweet. And they keep changing the page. So we will see what else they've got on here for now. So there's a tip-off from dog walkers. The key events. Police were called to St. Michael on the Wire after a tip-off by walkers. A body was found in the River Wire after a large-scale search. Nicola Bulley's family has been informed, and this has not been formally identified. About a mile from the scene. Treating the death as unexplained. Doesn't look like I can enlarge it. Clearing off the way. They stop traffic all the way around that area. They've cordoned it off.
My name's Josh Willinge. I've worked at Ribbit Hall Village.
Wow, media's there full force, guys. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this. So it keeps taking me to Twitter, and it's going onto a different screen. Okay, update. This morning, Sunday, the 19th of February, you may be aware of the police activity around the river near to St. Michael's. We want to provide you with an update on that activity. We were called today at 11:36 a.m. to reports of a body in the River Wire close to Rawcliffe Road. Okay. See if I can find a little bit more. And if I can, we'll go through it. And if not, I will keep watching. This here looks like it's got quite a bit of information, so let's take a look at it. Oh, let's see. I'm coming back there. I'll check with News Nation. Thanks, Dandy. I'm gonna look. I was hoping, I was looking earlier, and I didn't have any luck, but News Nation, come on. I'm not seeing from them at this point. But we'll take a look at this here. So Lancashire police say an underwater search team and specialists officers have attended the scene and entered the water and have sadly recovered remains. Probably the same one we've been watching. Police searching for missing mother of two, Nicola Bulley, have recovered a body from the river near where she went missing. They were called at 11:36, and police said in a statement, we went through that. The underwater search team and specialists have subsequently attended the scene. There has been no formal identification as of yet. So again, this gives us a little bit of an idea again. So she was on here on the bench is where her phone was. This is the waterway. So she made it in 3 days. That river's not very fast. 3 weeks. I'm sorry, 3 weeks. That's more under, that makes more sense. So it says that earlier the road was cordoned off. The search site is at about a mile from when Ms. Bulley went missing last seen. The helicopter was in the air for about 25 minutes, and they also used a drone. There is a white forensic tent that was set up and a large police presence. The area has been the focus of intense search operations since she went missing, last seen around 9:10 a.m. on January 27th, walking her dog. And you see, the dog's seen everything. I always think of that, like, wow. And this talks about how they said that she had drinking issues and was going through menopause. I don't know what that had to do with anything, but although we know that Nikki would not have wanted this, there are people out there speculating and threatening to sell stories about her. What? Unreal. So there has been a date set for an internal review of the investigation. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. And officers are being as transparent as they can.
Well, I agree with
up, business. I've got the ultimate no-brainer decision for you. Interest.
The Home Secretary, and like her, I was concerned that that private information was put into the public domain, and I'm pleased that the police are looking at how that happened in the investigation. Obviously, my thoughts are with Nicola's friends and family, and the focus now must be on continuing to try and find her. Well, I agree with the Home Secretary.
Home Secretary Suella Braverman who also raised concern about the release of information on Sunday, described the discovery of her body as heartbreaking and distressing. Absolutely, my thoughts remain with Nicola's family. We do know that this case attracted massive public information, especially from amateur sleuths and social media video makers who have been coming up with their own theories for Ms. Bulley's disappearance. Police have said that these people and their actions have distracted significantly from the official investigators. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there that, as usual, start spreading stuff that they shouldn't. It's harsh because it looks bad for all of us when something like this happens. And yeah, basically we do our best to bring out to bring information that is fresh and new. And we might speculate, but we never give anything out and say this is fact, because we just can't do that, can we? Okay, let's take a peek here. Oh, poor family. Wow. Wouldn't it be hard to get tangled up in that stuff, would it? So that it widens out and then it gets narrow and then it widens out again. They say that there's a lot of undercurrent right here. Okay. So I am not really seeing a lot more information that we should be putting out that we haven't gone over, I should say, right? I am just going to take a second look here. I don't want to miss anything. Oops. So do you guys think, do you think that this is going to be an accident? Do you think this is going to be unaliving herself? They're still saying no evidence of a crime. Well, there's not as much information out there as I'd like to see, that's for sure. I don't know, let's take a look at this. It's going to be fast, but That's okay.
Nearly 3 weeks after she vanished, a new revelation. We now know Nicola is classed as a high-risk missing person because of what police describe as her specific vulnerabilities. Today, for the first time, we heard from the most senior officers in the case, but they wouldn't elaborate on vulnerabilities.
I feel we've said as much as we can about that. It is personal, private information known to the investigation, but foremost in our thoughts, in addition to the integrity of the investigation, is the privacy of Nicola's family.
This afternoon, a helicopter was scanning the river from above the village. Police repeating their main theory that Nicola entered the water and no one else is involved.
Whilst other people may speculate and spread rumours, there is no evidence whatsoever or information, and there has been a vast amount reviewed, I can assure you, in the last almost 3 weeks to suggest any third-party involvement.
As well as rumours, officers say this case has been swamped in false information and accusations.
Police said today they want to debunk some myths.
So with that, I think where the problem was is, I mean, they were also not giving out the best information, were they? A lot of times I'm finding that when they don't give out a lot of information, there tends to be a lot of speculation. You know, if they could just give us a certain amount even, but they don't. So people do tend to speculate. And then we do have that a certain amount of people out there that like to give out false information. And I don't think that that is what I would call the normal way things go. I think that there's more of us that are on the good side of things than the bad side of things. But there is always those ones that do things for, what do they say, clicks and views? So let's see if this is anything new to us.
Let's bring you some breaking news, as you heard in the bulletin there. Now, police in Lancashire who have been investigating the disappearance of Nicola Bulley say they have found a body in the...
So I did this at the very beginning of my live, but I'm going to do it one more time. Then I'm going to jump off and do some research into this.
River Wire. We'll get the very latest now from Holly Byrne, Liverpool reporter with the Daily Mirror. Holly, welcome. Thank you. What is the latest?
Well, I mean, you just said it really. The police are now saying that they found a body. It's the 23rd day that they've been searching for Nicola. Obviously, at this...
So can you imagine 23 days? And she was just 1.5 miles down. And look at, they had drones, they had scuba divers, they had sonar people going over, all of that. And look at how close she ended up being.
Stage, they'll have to go through an official procedure. You know, they have to, you know, make a formal identification process. You know, we don't know at this stage if it is Nicola, but it's tragic news nonetheless that a body has been found in the River Wire.
We saw earlier today roads had been blocked and a particular section of the river was being searched. What more can you tell us about the goings on the ground since this morning?
Yeah, so that's right. I mean, it's Rawcliffe Road. So for those people listening that don't know the area, the section that they've been focusing on was a section near a bench where Nicola's phone had been found. Now, this area that they've cordoned off it's probably a 5-minute walk, if that. You know, you come past the Grapes pub, which is on the main road, and you swing a left, and it's Rawcliffe Road there. And this road follows the river. It's the banks of its river in certain sections. If you go right to the end of it, it really actually follows and bends with the river. So they've cordoned off that entire road. And what we do know is that 2 walkers were seen speaking with police and allegedly were pointing to a spot near the river. And then 2 police cars came flying past. The cordon was set up a short while later, and police said that they'd received a call at about 11:50 a.m. Now, obviously, since that time, they've made this official announcement that they have indeed found a body.
So we do know that Information has been sent on to the families, and we are now waiting basically for a formal formal notice that they did find Nicola.
Are the police oversharing?
Well, you can understand why people are saying that. Good morning, Kay. I don't think I've ever seen such a level of detail released before. There were various ways they could have said that yesterday without complete.
Oh, sorry.
Well, there has yet to be a formal identification of this body, so we cannot say with any certainty that it is the body of Nicola Bulley, although, of course, many of the circumstances will lead some people to draw that conclusion. I'm obviously going to wait for the formal identification, which is, of course, a very sombre process. It can be done a number of ways, through DNA, dental records, or if appropriate, face-to-face identification by a loved one. There will, of course, be a post-mortem fairly soon. And during that process, a cause of death will hopefully be established, and all this evidence will be gathered together, probably for a coroner's court inquest, which will take place at some point in the future. All in all, a very sombre afternoon.
Absolutely.
How difficult has this investigation been for Lancashire Police?
Well, I think with regards to the investigation, they came out with a working hypothesis very early on, which that Nicola Bulley had gone into the water. That may yet seem to be borne out. We shall see with this identification process. With regards to their handling of the messaging, the information they put out to the public through press conferences and the like, that fell way short of what I would have expected. It was clumsy, it was clunky at times, it was inaccurate at other times, and of course led to an absolute storm when they revealed that Nicola Bulley had alcohol issues connected to the perimenopause.
So again, how are they saying that alcohol is has something to do with being premenopausal or menopausal? I mean, we don't all turn into drunks when that happens to us. I don't know that there's a correlation of any kind when it comes to that. Regardless, they had no right putting out that she liked to drink. There was no reason that was not going to help. And telling everyone she was going through menopause was not going to help. There was absolutely no reason for them to share that information. I find it disgraceful.
Pause. And then we had the Home Secretary and no less than the Prime Minister expressing their concerns, and the Information Commissioner weighing in. So all of that at some point in the future will be subject to some very close scrutiny, I'm sure.
Well, what will happen next? The body has not yet been identified. If this is Nicola Bulley, how hard will it be to establish what happened?
Look at how narrow that is in certain spots. I'd like to know how she was able to get through all the way down to where she was going through this. There's certain spots that I noticed that was just sand on the bottom. So, okay. But that's not the way this is looking here. This is looking like there is a lot of things that she could have gotten tangled up in. So in my mind, she may have gone further than I would have expected if this kind of landscape, this kind of river has all these entanglements.
That will be a matter for the post-mortem. And of course, pathologists are incredibly highly trained, knowledgeable and learned people. But there will be supporting evidence perhaps that might help the pathologist. And in turn, of course, it's really the coroner that will decide the cause of death through the coroner's inquest. That may be held within a matter of weeks, or it may be put on, depending on what further investigations are carried out. Of course,
I totally agree with you guys. I mean, there was just no reason. I mean, how humiliating is that? My head cannot wrap around the fact that that type of stuff about a person's personal life was put out for the public to consume. people will grab, they talk about, you know, social media or whatever, taking stuff and just making up all of these situations. Well, what the hell were they doing? And I don't know, kind of, what is it? From the fire to the frying pan? There was just no reason for any of it. And like we were just saying, like, it's disgusting. It's humiliating. And I hope they find out how this started and the person gets reprimanded, severely reprimanded.
This body will be treated with the respect it deserves, but also any clothing potentially might be subject to forensic examination, perhaps footwear, any other items found. So there's a long way to go on this investigation, and I can thoroughly understand why the police now are probably going to lay their cards a little bit closer to their chest in what they reveal, because we need to remember, whether this be Nicola Bulley or not, there will be people who will be grieving the loss of a loved one.
Absolutely. What sort of support will Nicola Bulley's family be receiving during this process?
How did she get to where she was? The more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm a little bit confused. Look at how narrow it was in the footage here just a second ago. How did she get that far without getting tangled up?
Yes.
Well, since the early stages of the investigation, a family liaison officer has been allocated to them. I know many people that have had really a kind of empowering and very satisfying relationships with their family liaison officers. And conversely, of course, some people who have lost loved ones have not got on quite so famously with these specialist officers. People sometimes seem to forget that family liaison officers, there's a bit of a sort of conception that they're really there for somebody to pour your heart out to. Actually, and the police might not thank me very much for saying this, but really, family liaison officers are there to gather evidence as well. And that's the harsh reality of it. They need to be very observant, and of course they need to behave with suitable empathy, sympathy, consideration, and I'm sure that in this case that hopefully is exactly what the FLO, the family liaison officer, is affording to the Bulley family, should indeed it turn out to be Nicola, whose body, who, you know, if it's Nicola's body that's been found, sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to pop over here for a second. Yeah, nothing like being trashed by LE while they're looking for you. Very, very disturbing. Hopefully that doesn't, I mean, hopefully they learn a lesson and that is not going to happen again. Hello, Blifton. Yeah, well, if it's not her, then yikes. Agreed. Oh my goodness. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to jump off and go see if I can find some more information on this recovery, this search, and see if I can get a better understanding as how she could have ended up in that water and then down that far with all those entanglements and with all those searches going on and nobody finding her. All of that is a little bit puzzling to me. At first, I just didn't think it was possible at all, just by kind of looking at the few things I had seen. And now I'm just really curious as to how she would have got there in the first place. I'm glad that I'm imagining this will end up being Nicola. So I'm happy for their family that they're able to maybe get some answers here. And I think now we have to kind of take a peek and see if there's any kind of foul play. That'll be the next thing. Because in my mind, I don't see somebody falling in where she fell in, even if she was wearing a heavy jacket, because you undo your jacket and take it off, right? So I'm not sure how some of this happened. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions as to where I might find more information on this, I'm going to keep searching. let me know, and I will either do a video or I'll jump on here for you guys. So I will be putting out on the History Channel. Mexi and I are going to do a live on the Scott Peterson case. So look forward to that. I'd love to see you over there. The link is in the description. And as far as everything else goes, like I said, I'm going to continue to search. I would like a little bit more as far as answers go. So guys, you know what? As usual, thank you very much for spending the time with me. This is a heartbreaking case. Like I said, I'm glad that they have found her and maybe get some answers. And my heart and thoughts are with that family. So guys, again, thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.